Your VR chat world sucks. And you know what? That's perfectly fine, right? Okay? Like, maybe you were using prefabs. Alright, a lot of people use prefabs. So that would mean it's not your fault that your world sucks. I'm just kidding, your world doesn't suck. It's just horribly optimized. Hi, I'm Fidget. I'm a world and avatar creator on VR chat, and I am very big on optimization. Anyway, so, I've been going around different worlds, a lot of which are not mine, and I've noticed something. I tend to crash. A lot. Black cat? More like fat cat, because it's poorly optimized. Seriously, why do you need that many pillows rendered all at once? You don't need to have that on memory all the time. So I thought I'd make this little tutorial to show you how to use level of detail in VR chat, mainly because nobody does it. I mean, I've done it once. Oh, by the way, I made a whole forest. I know that's been done before, but like, I like to think that mine is, it just looks stylized and a lot less realistic. Anyway, this is a tutorial on how to do LODs because not enough people actually know how to do this. So, here you go. Please do this in your world so that I don't immediately crash and die and burn and kill my— But yeah, getting started. This isn't actually gonna be a modeling tutorial, but if you want that, well, you'll actually have to— I guess do whatever that was. Alright, going into this tutorial, the first thing we're gonna do is select everything and get rid of it. That was a horrible noise. Anyway, now I'm going to import this model that I got off of Sketchfab. It has many polygons, and it actually looks like it was 3D scanned. So this is literally the worst case scenario. You have a model that is horribly topologized, horribly not optimized at all, and even better than that, it's just a regular old FBX and it doesn't have any LODs to work with from the beginning. We're working with the worst case scenario here, so this will be perfect. So the first thing I'm gonna do here actually is just separate out all of the models that I actually want. You know, because I don't want to just import this entire thing as like a singular model. There's multiple things in here that I'd rather keep separate, and that'll help a lot when we actually get into creating LODs. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create my singular house mesh and grab that and duplicate it, and then make sure to right click to leave it back in the center, and then I'm just going to rename my duplicate to LOD1, or you know, whatever the object name is, underscore LOD1. The first object is going to be LOD0, so it would be whatever the object is, underscore LOD0. And then LOD1 is going to be our first actual model that has a different polygon count than LOD0. LOD0 is always just going to be the base model, so like the one with the highest polygons. So we're just going to go into the modifiers on LOD1, and we're just going to add a decimate modifier. And here's where the actual creation of LODs comes in. We just get the ratio slider in the decimate modifier, and let's just turn that down. And we can see, yeah, it's getting rid of a few polygons. I'm actually going to turn on the model statistics so that we can actually see this going down, because I don't want to have to rely on the visual aspects, because it's sometimes not really too noticeable, and that's what we want. We don't want it to be too noticeable, we just want it to be noticeable enough for it to work. Alright, now that we have our first LOD made, you can see that we actually get a huge poly reduction, all the way from 29,000 triangles all the way down to about 978. That's really good, actually. But maybe it's a bit much for our first LOD, so I'm actually going to go and just maybe set the decimate modifier to like something like 0.2. I think 0.2 is good, and that actually brings us up to about 5,000 tries, which is you know, not great, but it's a lot less detailed, and it's going to help us out a lot in terms of performance. Anyway, now what we can do is we can duplicate that one, and instead of LOD1, we'll name it LOD2. There we go. Wonderful. And now we just do the exact same thing again. Now we have 3 LODs. And of course, for all of these LODs, we are literally just going to be going back into the decimate modifier and lowering it. Okay, so to export this model to Unity now, the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to select all of our LODs and make it the parent of our first LOD, so LOD 0. Okay, so it appears to me that I actually selected each LOD separately and then just made LOD 0 parents of it after applying the modifiers. You don't have to do that, you can actually select all of them and then select the LOD 0, just hit Ctrl B to parent it by object. That works too. Anyway, moving on, to export, your settings are gonna look like this. I didn't record the settings. I'm gonna, you know what, just copy what the export settings on screen right now, and then, yeah, we're gonna just export as FBX and then drag that into Unity. Okay, in Unity, I am going to drag in my FBX, the textures folder. Usually I just drag them in both together, but I'm going slow for the purpose of tutorializing. Alright, once we have our FBX and textures in Unity, all we have to do is just drag our FBX into the scene, and you will immediately notice that all of the LODs are on. This is because Unity did not automatically recognize my LOD naming structure, which it should have, by the way. I don't know why that didn't work, but that's okay, because all we're gonna do here is just go into the model, add a component, LOD group, and I'm now realizing that I made one more extra LOD. Well, doesn't matter to me, because that's one more LOD to work with, so I can swap that out in the LOD1 section for either LOD1 or LOD2, and then LOD3 can just be the last one. It's a really good system, really works out. Probably should have figured that out beforehand, but whatever. Anyway, now that we have the LOD group component, all I'm going to do is grab my LOD 0 and drag it into LOD 0, and you'll notice it's already kind of working. Now for LOD 1, I can either drag in LOD 1 or LOD 2 because I have extra LODs, hooray me being smart. And of course LOD 2, I'm just going to drag in LOD 3 because that's the last LOD I made. It's also the one with the least amount of polygons. So yay! Alright, now that this is done, we just recalculate the bounds and boom! Now if we move further away, we can see, oh my god, it's getting called out. It's swapping the models. Yay! Performance! Anyway, that's the end of the tutorial. Yeah, it's a really easy thing to do. So if you have a model that you got as a prefab, just drag the model into Blender, make some LODs, and that'll be that. Alright. Please stop making me crash. Yeah, this is kind of more of an experimental video that I'm making on this channel because I have no idea what I'm doing. Thought I would do animation. Thought I would do, you know, some random... I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here and seeing what sticks. Anyway, if you like this kind of video, you want to see more tutorials, more funny stuff, more I don't know what I'm doing anymore, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Yeah. Roll the outro. Wait a minute, do I even have an outro? Well, apparently not. There's just the end card in front of my face. Hello. I have no idea what I'm doing half the time.